us to order. Start. I'm going to call us to order. Summer, if you'll call roll.
Commissioner Patterson?
Here.
Commissioner Norwood?
Here.
Commissioner Baker?
Here.
Commissioner Roberts?
Here.
Commissioner Stallings?
Here.
Commissioner Dennis is not present, and Mayor Mason.
Here.
Right, you have a quorum.
Tonight, our invocation will be by Dan Scheidel. Dan's okay, right there. And I'm going to ask Commissioner Stallings, would you do this flag salute, please? All right. Please stand.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, please join me in prayer. Father, we thank you for the precious gift of your Spirit who dwells within us. We honor your presence in the sanctuary of our hearts. Holy Spirit, fill every room of our inner life with your peace, your purity, and your power. Let your voice rise above every distraction, and let your glory establish the atmosphere around us. Lord, we ask you to strengthen our spiritual appetites, stir in us a deep longing for prayer, a hunger for your word, and a desire to walk in consecration. Teach us to crave what draws us closer to you and to turn away from anything that dulls our sensitivity to your leading. Help us to intentionally build godly atmospheres, spaces where your truth is treasured, your spirit is welcomed, and your love is evident. Shape our thoughts, guide our motions, and guard our minds so that everything within us reflects your presence. Make us faithful hosts of the Holy Spirit, and let our lives become places where you dwell richly, speak clearly, and move freely. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Join me with the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. Okay, item 3.1, consider approval of minutes of the regular commission meeting of November the 18th, 2025.
So moved. Second it.
I have a motion and a second. Please cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. 6-0. Item number 4.1, present pet available for adoption at the city's Animal Welfare Department.
I know.
Who do we have tonight?
Tonight I brought Paisley. Paisley is 5 to 6 months old. She's a pit mix. She's going to stay on the petite side. She's pretty laid back. Haven't heard a sound from her. She came in a couple days before Thanksgiving. She's just laid back, kind of chill. It may be the environment, I don't know, but she is a little shy at first, but she warms up pretty quickly. And she is available for adoption out at Enid Animal Welfare. Our adoptions are free and come with a voucher to get them fully vetted and microchipped for $35 through the Enid SPCA. She is located in Pen 9.
All right. Thank you.
And she likes cookies.
As do we all.
Item 4.2, recognize the outstanding efforts of the engineering department and Jackson Civil in completing the Cleveland and Garrett water line repair expeditiously. Not sure if I said that correctly, but
Yes, expeditiously or something. What did it say, Melissa?
Expeditiously.
Expeditiously, yes. Raphael, I think I saw you come in the room. Raphael Jackson, would you come up here? Hey, our engineering folks, I don't know if we have anybody here from engineering tonight because Morali wasn't feeling well and Jason wasn't scheduled to be here. But I wanted to, yeah, please, come on up. Raphael Jackson has a contracting company here in town called Jackson Civil. He has been doing quite a bit of work for the city, and I'm sure other people over the last several years. And I wanted to note a well-planned operation that ran very well, was executed, I would say, flawlessly recently. In fact, most of you probably don't even know about it. But a water line was leaking around the corner, the northwest corner of Cleveland and Garriott. And I don't know exactly where it was leaking, but engineering worked on following our purchasing procedures. I believe we got quotes. I think you guys had the successful quote to go out there. But it took a lot of time coordinating because, as you know, Garriott and Cleveland are very well-traveled arterials and very important to the flow of traffic in the city. So they worked on this project. I don't recall what day they did it. It was, I think, a week or two before Thanksgiving. But I was very concerned for a lot of reasons that things typically, as well-planned as they can be, until you dig it up, you don't know what's there. So anyway, but it turned out very well, and so I wanted to commend publicly our engineering team and our contractor who did a fantastic job. They started something like 5 at night. Raphael can tell you, 5 in the evening, which you know is getting dark this time of year. And they worked into the night. I don't know what time they really finished, but I think you were done in time that there was really no water disruption for the customers in that area of any significance. But I want to thank you and give you a most valuable player coin from the city as a contractor, Raphael, and let you talk about it and your experiences there. And you worked at night, so you had lights and.
Yeah, it was an interesting project. We didn't exactly know where the leak was located, so we had to diagnose and repair and patch back. So we started about 5:30 that evening. Around 11 o'clock that next morning, we were completely poured back and ready for the concrete to have its 24-hour cure to open up the traffic so we could minimize disruption to the citizens. So that was our main goal, was to, that was a high traffic area and not to disrupt Starbucks, and there was a clinic down the street, and we wanted to minimize that disruption. So I was proud of the team. They got in there and did a good job, and we appreciate the city to count on us to be prepared and serve the community.
Well, thank you for your efforts for the city.
I had a meeting the next morning with Morali. Gerald and I did, about 9 in the morning. And he come into that meeting and we said, what's going on? Because he looked tired. He goes, I've been up all night long making sure that water line got in. So we said, well, when will it be done? He said, it's done. They're pouring concrete right now. So I was amazed just how quickly that gotten taken care of. So anyway, we do appreciate that. Thank you.
I sat in the parking lot at AT&T and watched for a while, and I don't know who the guy was slinging that sledgehammer, but he's a hoss. That was impressive.
It was Frank. All right. Before I go on to 4.3, 4.4, I'm going to do those backwards out of order. But you know, I like to bring different groups into their commission meeting and recognize them for either what they're doing or just to make the public more aware of different programs that we have going on around our community. Dan Scheidel a while ago brought us up to speed on the cultural connection that we had 2 months ago, I think we said. And while I was there, I'd been asked to ask questions or answer questions for a breakout session. And I will say, after being mayor for 3 years, you get about the same questions every time. I mean, you pretty much know what that's going to be before you even start. And as it turned out, I go over to my section, and a bunch of the youth-built students showed up. Now, First of all, I don't know who Youth Built was at that time, right? But they all had on T-shirts just like, matter of fact, there were about 30 of them there that day. There was a large group. A few other individuals sit over in our group, but we had some predetermined questions, and they gave answers, and then I just opened it up to questions that they wanted to ask. Like I said, usually you get the same questions every time when you go to a school or somewhere like that. These were the best questions that I had been asked, in depth, wanted a lot of detail. You couldn't just go yes or no. You know, I mean, they wanted to know why. And I just appreciated that so much. And afterwards, had the chance to talk to them for a little while. And then fast forward to a couple weeks or a month after that at the chili cook-off. I'm just walking around, seeing people that I know. Gerald and I happen to be walking together, and all of a sudden these guys walked up, and they said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And it dawns on me who that is. And they had a booth. They had in the chili cook-off.
Chili, too.
Yeah, very good chili. First question they ask is, "Who's this? What does he do?" You know, I mean, very inquisitive. And in my past life as a school teacher, I think sometimes we need to recognize when young people come up and they're full of questions, that's not an annoyance. Mm-hmm. I mean, we need to take time and explain that to them. And that's why I did, some of you were asking why I did the study session exactly like I did and explained some things. I wanted them to understand. They come up at 4 o'clock today, and we went through almost every department here in the admin building. They got to ask questions of the department heads. And I just think it's important, whether it's in the cultural connection or just a connection between myself and our students, or the curriculum that you put together and go to some of the schools to do. People don't know what they don't know. And what I found is not just young people don't understand local municipal government, most people don't understand that, right? So if we don't explain that, if we don't bring young people along, we get exactly what we deserve out of it. So I'm glad you're here tonight, and I enjoyed giving the tour around the building. I hope you enjoyed it. I know sometimes these things can be a little lengthy and a little tedious, but I just want you to understand why we're doing what we're doing, right? And why we have code and why we have all these different departments. Because, you know, this is an organization with a $200 million budget. You can't just run it out of your back pocket. You really have to have some plans and structure. And so with that being said, I'm going to go to a 4.4 presentation on the CDSA's Youth Build program. And this is going to be by Brandy Stewart, which is the coordinator. So Brandy, if you want to come up to this microphone. Okay. Either one, whichever one you want.
Better.
Use that one down there so the camera can see better.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that. I was thinking that one the camera would see. Just to tell you a little bit about CDSA Youth Build. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm nervous, but I'm going to back up. I want to say thank you so much for inviting us tonight. And thank you, Dan, as well, and the whole, I think they left, but the whole group that put together the Cultural Connection. I feel like one of the most important things I do as the program coordinator is connect these young people to opportunities, networking, career exploration. And it seems like every time we go to a new event, we have a new opportunity open up, just like what happened when we went to the Cultural Connection. So thank you very much. I appreciate you both very much, and everybody's time as well. But yeah, so Youth Build is a program of CDSA's. We are funded by the Department of Labor. We serve 16 to 24-year-olds who have either dropped out of school or are at risk of dropping out of school, just didn't have a great experience in traditional school. Many of them had also tried online school, and that wasn't a great experience either.
They have to have some other qualifying factors. For the most part, low income or maybe they're a parenting teen, but basically they have to have some barrier to success. But while they're with us, we have them for 2 years. Now, during that 2 years, they're only with us Monday through Friday for 9 months of that. And during that 9 months, they work to get their high school diploma and several industry-recognized credentials, CPR and OSHA, in addition to the other credentials, just trying to build their resume. That's another thing they do is career prep. And then they spend the other half of their time, or pretty close to half of their time, addressing affordable housing. So they build a home for a low-income family. We're not trying to have everybody go into the trades. However, I'm always like, go into the trades, but it's not for everybody. That construction component really isn't about necessarily being able to hang a door, although they learn how to do that. It's about just being employable, being responsible for your tools, showing up on time, being prepared, that kind of thing. And after they graduate with their diploma, so at the end of that 9 months, they're not done. We follow them for a full 12 months after that to help with helping them find a job, helping them enroll in school, fill out scholarships, and or connect them with recruiters and get enlisted. So it's really a holistic approach to education. I think that they would all say we kind of become a mini family. As a matter of fact, the young lady who was in here with the dog, she is a Youth Build graduate from cycle 7, which was my first cycle. Weird coincidence there, but I have students come in from 8 years ago and tell me what's going on in their lives. So what I kind of am asking of people is, we would love to have some mentors who are interested in coming and talking to youth, or even just coming in and talking about, like how you got where you are in your life. We had one guy who came in and did what was it called? Oh, he came in and just said, hey, I want to come in and be like uplifting, and we're going to do the Cupid shuffle. So just engaging, yeah, which was like the most uncomfortable thing in the world for me because I don't dance. But just to engage with the young people, and then any kind of opportunities for them to be engaged in the community. The idea of having a youth coalition. I've got Aiden sitting right next to me going, that's what I was talking about. That's what I want to do. So they want to be involved. And a lot of times I feel like our students, because they aren't at Enid Public Schools, get left out of things. And maybe some of them had a more challenging past or home life. And so I just want them to have the same opportunity that the other students get. And the more people who are involved and care about them, the better their education experience is going to be, and the more they're going to feel connected to this community. So,
Very good, very good. Well, it was certainly a pleasure to get to meet them, and it's just such a pleasure. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to come down. One of the things I get to do as being mayor, I get to do proclamations, right? And I can name a day after a group, and that's what I want to do. So I'm going to ask Randy, if you would, to come up to this mic now, and the whole group to come up, if you would.
hey, Dan. Hey, Dan. Will you get a picture? Will you take a picture? I don't have my phone for you, but thank you. Was that discreet enough?
Slide right in here. I've got these commemorative coins. I know I've given one or two of those. That's okay. You didn't spend it, did you? No, you didn't get one. Okay. These are coins that have our city logo on one side, and on the other side, it has our cityscape. If you look downtown. That's pretty cool. It also says, my little slogan I always say is that we're a city on the move, We're always moving forward. And then it has number 48 right up there. Out of 135 years now, I'm the 48th mayor of Enid. So, that being said, I want y'all to have one of these. Like I said, don't try to spend it.
So you said they're worth about $1 million?
Did I say that? That was before I knew you were going to be here. I'm going to give you another one.
All right. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Very cool. Let me grab this proclamation.
Very cool.
Want to read this. Okay, it says, whereas Youth Build is a transformative program that empowers young people, particularly those who have faced barriers in education, employment, or stability, to reclaim their education, develop leadership skills, and build pathways to productive futures. And whereas Youth Build participants commit themselves to academic achievement, vocational training, community service, and personal growth, demonstrating resilience, responsibility, and a dedication to better their lives and the communities that they call home. And whereas the Youth Build model strengthens communities by training young adults in high-demand fields such as construction, healthcare, technology, and public service, while also fostering civic engagement and leadership. And whereas Youth Build students regularly contribute thousands of hours of service each year through the housing rehabilitation, neighborhood improvement projects, and acts of service that improve safety, health, and opportunity for residents. And whereas the mentors, instructors, staff, and community partners who support Youth Build exemplify a commitment to equity, empowerment, and lifelong learning. And whereas the success stories of Youth Build graduates who go on to become skilled workers, entrepreneurs, college students, community leaders, and role models demonstrate the program's profound and lasting impact. Now, therefore, I, David M. Mason, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Enid, do hereby proclaim December the 2nd, 2025 as Youth Build Day in the city of Enid. So. All right. Well, you guys come back and see us, okay?
Absolutely.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.
All right, sir.
Y'all go ahead.
I was gonna say, we appreciate you. Everybody gets so hyped for him.
And Brandy, if I could get you to make one final comment. I was on CDSA board a number of years ago, back when Youth Build was getting started, and I don't know if folks realize how much work they put into actually getting into the program, because it's not like you walk in the door. I mean, I heard about the process. Hell, it sounded like when I went to Navy boot camp. I mean, they earned this right. If you talk just a little bit about that.
Yeah, so, and I appreciate you bringing that up, because before I was nervous, I was going to mention how much it's needed in the community. So we had 100 students apply for our program this year. The process is you apply, you do an interview, you do some testing, and then you come out and you try out for, well, they think it's 3 weeks at the time. It's really 2 weeks, but anyhow, they try out for the program, so they have to show that they're really invested, that they don't miss a single day, that they're on time from breaks and that kind of thing. We had 58 students come to mental toughness, anyhow, the tryout period. And a lot of them, for whatever reason, maybe they don't make it themselves. Maybe they miss a day or something like that. But this year, I had to call 9 students and say, even though they didn't miss a day, they hadn't done anything, that egregious that would get them told they aren't in the program. I just didn't have the slots. We only have 30 slots per year for students. And I think that shows what a huge need there is in our community for alternative ed outside of just what we already have. But yeah, it's a really 3-week tryout, and they can't miss. They miss one day and they're done. So these guys, I've got several who haven't missed a single day since August. And I just want to say, would you guys say that your attendance record when you were going to public school was as good as it is now? No. What's something that makes you, one thing, and I promise I'll stop, but what's one thing that makes you get out of bed and want to come to Youth Build? Just,
Family.
yeah, I paid him to say that, but no, really, we care about them. And we also have a blessing because there's 6 staff to 30 students. You know, Enid High doesn't have that they're not able to have that kind of ratio. So we're really able to spend one-on-one quality time with these young people and develop those relationships. And those that didn't make it last year are coming back next year, so.
Brandy, I can't speak for the commissioners, but I know they're all very welcome to speak at anytime you need someone to come speak to the group and kind of how they ended up where they are. I'm pretty sure they'd be happy to do that, so.
Well, I would love that. And I also think I need to talk to you about a civics curriculum.
Yeah.
I heard that mentioned, so.
Brandy,
Your brain.
I used to teach the CPR for Youth Build.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll just say, when I was there, I was touched by so many stories. Students that were having to leave in the middle of class because they had a sick one at daycare. So students that were trying to better themselves, but they also had a little person that was counting on them. Students that had court hearings, students that were going through drug rehab and things like that. So they overcame a lot of barriers to be a part of that program. And I would say that more than anything, they just wanted to be seen, they wanted to be heard, and they wanted to be understood. And so I applaud you as the leader for being able to instill that in them.
Thank you. It's the best job ever. I can't believe I get paid to do it, so I love it.
Okay.
Right?
Any other comments? Nope. Thank
Right.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'm going to go to 4.5, an update on the donkey basketball event. Now, that's from one extreme to the other, right?
Yes, it is, and I think this is something that that staff wanted to add, and I think we did. There was a lot of city staff that participated. I want to say the Noon Ambucks brought back donkey basketball for Enid, Oklahoma. It's the first donkey basketball event that's occurred here in a long time. They also ran the event at the Stride Bank Center, and I want to say, Kevin, I think you've reported that we're almost 1,000 attendees there. So that was a well-attended event. I know fire and police were represented. In fact, I think they played, and I think fire played in the championship game. You were a ref.
Quasi,
yeah. I think you might have been accused of cheating at the end of the...
just a little bit, a little bit. I was instructed that that game had to end in a tie, so.
Okay. Well, I didn't look at the official box score on the thing, but it was a fun event. I think there's a video here. I think it might focus on me riding a donkey. I'm not sure. I will say, to be successful, you want to get on a donkey that moves. Not all the donkeys move. So you want the athlete to be the donkey.
I think we had a couple dancers also, didn't we?
So that was why the game had to end in a tie. Tammy Church and Anna Blue Ball headed that up, and the company that came in had this planned. I did not know that, but he instructed me that this game will end in a tie, and when it did, the dance-off came about, so.
Okay.
For you guys that missed it, you missed the sight.
I saw it on Facebook, and
We had to censor the video.
well, I think that was a fun event. There's a skill set I didn't even know you had, so.
There was a lot of folks out there, ambulance, police, and fire, and the teachers, Enid High teachers.
All right, I'm going to keep moving. We're going to skip over 4.6, and so Youth Build knows this is a placekeeper that we have in case we don't finish everything on the study session, which we did finish that, so I can pass over that. I'm going to go to 5.1. This is a hearing. We will not take a vote on this, but I've got to read it into the record. It says, hold a public hearing pursuant to Title III, Chapter 8, Article A-4 of the Enid Municipal Code 2024 concerning an application from Centurion Health Systems, DBA Mercy Regional of Oklahoma, to operate an ambulance service within the city of Enid. And do I have a speaker on that one? From the city that's going to speak, or?
Well, certainly I can summarize, but the intent is to be the public hearing that's required, so anybody can speak to it that wants to. But as the commission knows, and I think generally at least some of the public knows, there's a new ambulance company. I see Duke Dixon in the audience from Mercy Regional. I see Jimmy Johnson from Life EMS. And there's a transaction going on between the two of them to transfer the ambulance assets from Life to Mercy Regional. There's a process in our code that we have to go through, and that process starts with an application. And so an application was received, I think sometime early last month. And then there's a process after that. There's a investigation that has to occur looking into 5 specific things. And there's also this hearing that's required to be set with plenty of notice. I think it was 10 days notice. And so now is the opportunity for the public and anybody that wants to speak about this application from Mercy Regional to speak.
Okay. And I do have one person signed up, Matt Miller. If you want to speak, please come up to the microphone, state your name and your address.
Good evening, Matt Miller, 514 North First, Medford, Oklahoma. So I want to take a minute to visit with you guys for a minute on the ambulance application. So I'm going to preface this with saying I think that Duke probably runs a pretty good operation. I see these trucks all over the state. I think Mercy Regional is a reputable company. However, in my review of the document that was provided with the agenda, I assume that's the entire document. There are a couple things missing in that application. Firstly, there's a requirement for 3 references from the city. I did not see those in that application, and also there's a requirement for an umbrella insurance policy. I did not see that in there as well. So 2 things I see that are missing, so just wanted to bring that up and bring that to your attention. So again, my intent here is to make sure we have transparency, integrity, and honesty in this process, and so that's all.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I can go ahead and I appreciate you sending me the email telling me that too. I certainly have had a moment to look into it. The 3 addresses you talk about, that's a requirement of people that live in the city. Mr. Dixon did provide that.
Okay.
We did not, it appears we did not attach it to the agenda.
Sure.
But we do have that information, and certainly we can share it with, presuming, there's addresses on there, so I don't know what we would have to defer to see if that's a legal or an open record or not, but it's, we have it. And then I did follow up with Mr. Dixon, and he has provided a certificate that shows that he does have umbrella insurance in the amount of $2 million.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
so I believe those, I thank you for bringing that up. I think
Absolutely.
those 2 requirements or omissions that you brought up have been fulfilled.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wants to talk on this topic? Okay. With that being said, I'm going to go to 6.1. Just so Youth Build knows, this is the action item that we just had the hearing on. So we'll take a vote on this. It says, consider taking action on the ambulance service license application submitted by Centurion Health System, DBA Mercy Regional of Oklahoma.
I do want to say, Mayor, I did receive a phone call from Jimmy, from your attorney, Mr. Kennedy, talking about the process, the sale process between the two private businesses hasn't completed yet. So he has suggested that we should consider, if you want to consider approval, that you should consider it contingent upon the closing. And I know, I've spoken with Melissa, she can weigh in here in a moment as she pleases, but I do believe that the application materials require an office here in Enid, and the office used, Duke, is Mr. Dixon, is 302 West Maple, which is Life EMS. Melissa, do you want to weigh in on that?
I would just say that I agree with that you all would be in your authority to approve a license contingent upon the sale or the closing of the sale of the company, just so that we wouldn't run into any issues with two separate licensees with all the requirements that come along with those in our code.
Okay. So with that being said, I would look for a motion with a contingency on it to the closing of that business, if we choose to issue a license.
Okay, move to approve with contingency. It waits on the conclusion of the sale.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. Item 6.2, consider an ordinance amending the Enid Municipal Code 2024, Title II, Finance and Taxation, Chapter 7, Financial Disclosure Requirements of Elected Officials to repeal the chapter entitling entirely due to the state preemption, providing for repealer, saving clause, and severability. And Mandy, this is you. This, so they know, this is what we were talking about earlier when you were at the mic. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. We presented this draft, or the ordinance that's in front of you, the draft version, at the November 18th study session. We're bringing it to you due to a change in state law. The state has preempted the field of financial disclosures for elected officials and reporting requirements related to that, effective November 1st. So what has changed is this used to be a citywide summer, you filed with Summer or our city clerk your reporting requirements. That's being transferred to the state. The state has developed an online portal. The Ethics Commission has. It's supposed to be friendly and user-friendly, so that you can do your required reporting there. The main reporting that you're going to be doing is an annual report. That becomes available to you January, and the deadline to get that completed runs through the end of May. You have to do that annually. There are additional reporting requirements that go along if you have a committee or you have some campaign issues still outstanding that you have to do reporting. You would also do that reporting with the Ethics Commission through that online portal. It is in beta testing. It's available, and they did say that they will have some training on how to use that for elected officials going forward. But the reason we're bringing that to you today to repeal that chapter is it's no longer in the city's hands. It's a state requirement now.
Okay. Any questions of Mandy? No? I'll look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. Thank you, Mandy. Now then, so the group knows, we're going to go to item 7, which is consent. In our charter, we don't have to go line by line to approve every single bill or payment, statement, invoice that we have to pay. We can do that as a whole. So what I'm going to do, they've all looked at it. They've seen all the outstanding bills. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the consent, and we'll do that all on one vote. So I'll look for a motion to approve the consent order.
Move to approve the consent items. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Pass, or cast your ballots, 6-0. And that vote right there was for $3,106,000, just so you know. So that was all of our bills this 2 weeks. Item number 8, recess to convene as the Enid Municipal Authority. Let me stop one more time. Because of how we pay bills and how we're able to use different funds, we have the Enid Municipal Authority that we're trustees of. We also have the, what else am I missing? The Enid Public Transportation Authority also. So we will recess and then convene into a different organization, even though instead of commissioners, we'll be trustees, but then we'll vote on that topic, and then I'll come out of that. We'll go into the next authority until we work down through this. So that's why we're doing all this, okay? So item number 8, recess to convene as the Enid Municipal Authority. All trustees of the Enid Municipal Authority are present for the regular meeting with the exception of Commissioner Dennis. Item 10.1, consider approval of Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality, or ODEQ, consent order in case number 25-160, authorizing the mayor to execute necessary documents, including the consent order and the response to ODEQ, and authorize payment of the penalty assessed in the amount of $10,000 to ODEQ.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. So this item comes after you all received a presentation earlier during study session, giving you kind of the background history of what happened after the fish kill on May 20th, 2025. The Department of Environmental Quality has issued to the City of Enid a consent order. And just for more clarifications on that, it is an administrative order. It's called a consent order because we've had many conversations with the Department of Environmental Quality. The City of Enid has taken responsibility for that fish kill and has consented to the items that have been requested of us. So we are asking you to also consent to that. We're recommending that the approval of that consent order be official, that you make that motion today. Included in that are a couple of things that are required of the city. One of the tasks is that we are to submit a schedule for the development and implementation of a control mechanism under our pretreatment program for the pollutants that were identified in the correspondence. So you heard some of those things about the ammonia, the QACs, all the things that you heard about earlier today. We have, through the staff and all the work that has been done leading up to this point, drafted a response that is also presented in your materials that includes the schedule for the development of that control mechanism. It includes some of the studies that we're working on with the T-bill, the technically based local limits, the study that's being implemented so that we can address anything in the future, permits, and all the things that the serious industrial user, and probably significant industrial user, use the wrong term there, all the things that they need to do through our permitting program so that we can prevent this from happening again in the future. So with that consent order also is a $10,000 penalty. It's an administrative penalty that DEQ has imposed upon us. We were informed during some of our conversations that that is the minimum penalty that is assessed in situations like this. Any kind of fish kill, no matter how large or small, that is the minimum, and that's what we were told. And so there was no negotiating that, but we are recommending that you all will accept that and authorize not only the consent order, also the response that has been prepared and the authorization to pay the DEQ the $10,000 penalty. Any questions?
Questions? I think it's just like what we discussed earlier, and we'll recoup that money on the other side.
Yeah, move to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. Still staying in the Enid Municipal Authority, We now have to pay the bills that are in that group. Approval, so 10.2, approval of the claims in the amount of $281,862.52.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. And then number 11, we're going to adjourn to convene as the Enid Economic Development Authority. All trustees are present of the Enid Economic Development Authority for the regular meeting with the exception of Commissioner Dennis. Item 13.1, approval of claims in the amount of $18,354.56.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. Item number 14, adjourn to convene as the Enid Public Transportation Authority. All trustees of the Enid Public Transportation Authority regular meeting are present with the exception of Commissioner Dennis. Item 16.1, approval of claims in the amount of $7,924.69.
Move for approval. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Cast your ballots. Motion passes 6-0. Item number 17, we're going to adjourn and reconvene as the Enid City Commission now. Item number 18 are public comments. Public comments is where they can just sign up to speak. They're allowed 1 minute at the microphone, and we ask that they read their name and address into the record, since all of them are not residents of our community. So I'll start with Brian Henry. Mr. Henry, if you'll state your name, your address, and Gerald, you've got the timer. You have 1 minute.
My name is Brian Henry. I reside at 1817 East Broadway. These folks with me are Tammy and James Mercer. I just wanted to introduce them so that way you guys had a face to the name, because I'm going to be speaking heavily on their behalf. So if you guys want, you can go ahead and... in my hand here, I don't want to eat up too much of my time. I'll distribute these after I'm done talking, but this was requested by your Community Development Department today that I give some documentation showing that I have legal authority to speak on their behalf. So I just wanted to make sure that we did have that for all of you and then for the city attorney and them as well. My name is Brian Henry. I sit on your Metropolitan Area Planning Commission, and I'm also the owner and sole proprietor of Henry Code Consulting, Henry Code Compliance. We work in Northwest Oklahoma primarily helping out people with code compliance, code consulting, building inspection, plan review, all the good stuff that your Community Development Department does here. I've been retained on behalf of the Mercers to help them out with a building permit issue that they've had ongoing since July, trying to obtain a building permit to replace a manufactured home at their residence of 2923 West Carrier Road. They brought me onto this because they were having a very difficult time getting straight answers or guidance out of the Community Development Department. So they brought me in to help them out with the paperwork, to get all of this processed and get the ball rolling, just to see what we could do. Government red tape sometimes is they need some help getting through that. So when they brought me in, they kind of explained the process, where they were, where they needed to go. I began to work on their behalf with the Community Development Department. We obtained all the documentation that was required on their checklist. We submitted it as of Monday. We are no closer today in obtaining said building permit, which I get it, it's only been a few days on that. However, we have been hit. It seems like this process has just continued to move the goalposts since July. There is absolutely nothing found in the building code that they continue to make requests of. I've even given them alternate provisions of things that they could make conditional considerations on, Mr. Mayor. They've refused to help in any way, shape, or form. My clients are now taking on daily storage fees on the storage lot for where their manufactured house sits. The code department would rather argue with me about my legal standing to have this discussion with you. In fact, today they tried to discourage me from coming to this meeting. I do have an ongoing meeting set up, I believe still with the city manager Thursday at 10 a.m. Hey, Gerald, please, I don't want to eat into my minute, please.
Well, your minute's really up, but
you're up.
Okay, sorry.
Grace, go ahead. But I was going to tell you, yes, we still have our meeting. I don't know who told you that or tried to discourage you from coming. It wasn't me.
Okay, well, it didn't come from you. I want to be clear about that. And so I don't mean to insult it. I'm not trying to be anyone's adversary. I want to get these people in their house and I want to help them. They're frustrated to death.
Too.
Sorry, sir?
Me too.
Okay.
Thank you. We appreciate it, but I hold it to 1 minute.
Can I say one last statement, and I will go? That's the last thing. This is the only thing, and it pertains to this.
Please, go ahead.
I would highly encourage, before something is sent out today requesting ownership of a property, that the Community Development Department ask questions. It was very insensitive, the email that they did send out. This woman's mother passed away at the end of October, and they are more concerned about finding a deed to make sure that she owns this than they are helping these people get through their process. That's all I had to say. Would you like me to distribute these or set them here?
Thank you. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you, sir.
That's fine. Thank you. My only other person is Ms. Clinton, Neanne Clinton. If you want to come to the microphone, please state your name, your full address, and you have 1 minute, please.
Neanne Clinton, Wacomas, Oklahoma, and I am going to give some facts about the situation that Brian Henry is speaking about on behalf of the Mercers. The City Code Office has denied the request to set a 2015 stamped model, even though your website states the 2015 IRC is the model code adopted in Enid. You told them they would be forced to remove the existing slab. There is no slab on the property, so I assume you meant the piers. The code department has taken several applications and told the family to start over instead of issuing a notice of deficiency, clearly stating what items are needed to be amended. The city also denied ability to the family to act on their own as a contractor, which she clearly is allowed to do by state statute in the respective trades acts adopted by the state of Oklahoma and signed by the governor of Oklahoma. While yes, this is a charter city, you cannot violate state statute. I believe that was brought up in the study session, as this is a statutory allowance which supersedes city charters. I would also like to make clear that the permit counter has acted in a non-professional manner. I don't know if any of you have ever stood there and tried to submit an application and been told by somebody who is not certified or has any certifications that your application is not appropriately filled out.
Your time's up, Mrs. Clinton.
Thank you.
That completes everyone I have on public comment. And for the group, remember we talked about this ahead of time. During public comment, since it's not an agenda item, none of us can speak to any of those topics. That's why we did not. Okay? Number 19, I'm going to look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Cast your ballots. We are adjourned. Thank you. Good meeting, guys.
That was good.